I want to ask you something right now, and I need you to answer it honestly, not with the answer that sounds good, but with the real answer. The one that lives in the quiet place inside you where nobody else has access. How many things do you have on your list right now that should already be done? How many goals have been sitting in the same place for months, maybe years, waiting for you to finally decide that today is the day? How many ideas have you been carrying around in your head that have never made it into the world? How many times have you said, this is my year, this is my season, this time I am really going to do it, and then watch the days turn into weeks and the weeks turn into months, and found yourself standing in the exact same place, making the exact same promise to yourself all over again? I am not asking those questions to shame you. I am asking them because the answer to those questions is the most honest conversation you are going to have with yourself today. And this conversation, this one right here, right now, has the potential to be the turning point that separates the life you have been living from the life you were created to live. Because here is what I know. The thing that is standing between you and everything you want is not a lack of talent. It is not a lack of opportunity. It is not the economy. It is not your past. It is not the people who did not believe in you. The thing standing between you and everything you want is the gap between knowing and doing, between planning and executing, between wanting it and actually going out there and getting it. Today we close that gap. Today is not the day we talk about it. Today is not the day we plan it or map it or vision board it. Today is the day we get it done. Stay with me, because what is coming in the next few minutes might just be the most important conversation your future self has been waiting for you to have. Let us go. I want to start by saying something that most people are not going to want to hear. The world does not owe you anything for your intentions, not for your plans, not for your potential, not for the idea that has been sitting in your head for 3 years waiting for the perfect moment to be executed, not for the business you were going to start, the degree you were going to finish, the relationship you were going to repair, the health you were going to reclaim, the dream you were going to chase. The world does not reward what you were going to do. It rewards what you actually did. And I say that not to be harsh, but to wake something up in you, because I genuinely, deeply believe that there are people listening to this message right now who are carrying something extraordinary inside of them, something that could change their family, something that could impact their community, something that could leave a mark on this world that outlasts their lifetime. But it is all still on the inside. It has never made it out. And the reason it has never made it out is not because you are not capable. The reason is because somewhere along the way, you started believing that thinking about it was the same as doing it. You started believing that planning it was as good as executing it. You started believing that one day was the same as today. It is not. One day is a fantasy. Today is a decision. And the decision you make today, right now, in this moment, is the difference between the life you have been living and the life that has been waiting for you to show up and claim it. So let me ask you something. What is the one thing, the one real specific non-negotiable thing that you know you need to get done? Not the whole list, not the 10-year plan. The one thing, the thing that has been sitting on the edge of your consciousness for weeks, months, maybe years. The thing that you know, if you actually completed it, would change the trajectory of everything. Got it? Good. Now hold on to it. Because everything I'm about to say is about helping you get that thing done. Not someday, not when the conditions are right, not when you feel ready. Now, let me talk to you about excuses, because this is where most people's dreams go to die. Not in the big dramatic moments, not in the moments of obvious failure. In the quiet, daily, seemingly reasonable moments when an excuse presents itself and you accept it instead of fighting it. I did not have enough time today. I will start on Monday. I am waiting until I have more resources. I need to do more research first. The timing is not right. I am going to wait until the kids are older, until the season changes, until the situation improves, until I feel more ready. And listen, I understand every single one of those statements. I understand them because they sound reasonable. They sound logical. And that is exactly what makes them so dangerous, because a reasonable excuse is still an excuse. And an excuse, no matter how logical it sounds, is ultimately a decision to let your circumstances be more powerful than your commitment. Here's what I need you to understand about the people who actually get things done. They do not have fewer obstacles than you. They do not operate in a world that is kinder or more accommodating than the one you live in. They get hit by the same life events, the same unexpected challenges, the same competing demands on their time and energy. The difference is that they made a decision, a non-negotiable, this is not up for debate decision, that their excuses would not be allowed to vote on their actions. They feel the excuse trying to rise up. They acknowledge the difficulty, and then they get it done anyway. That is the move. That is the only move. Feel the resistance, name the excuse, and then do the work regardless. Because on the other side of every excuse is the version of your life that excuse was trying to prevent you from from reaching. And that version is worth fighting for. It is worth the discomfort. It is worth the inconvenience. It is worth pushing past every logical reason why now is not the right time. Now is always the right time. Now is the only time you actually have. I need to talk to you about urgency, because this might be the piece that is missing from your execution. Most people treat their dreams like they have unlimited time to pursue them. They operate with a casualness, a looseness, a tomorrow mentality that treats the next day as an infinite resource that will always be available to pick up where today left off. But I need you to really hear this. You do not have unlimited time, not in the dramatic, morbid sense, although that is also true, but in the practical, everyday sense. The opportunity that is in front of you right now has a window, and that window is not going to stay open indefinitely. The season you are in right now, with its specific circumstances, its specific connections, its specific energy, this season is temporary, and the things that can be built in this season cannot necessarily be built in the next one in the same way. The person who gets it done understands that every day they delay is a day they cannot recover. Every week they spend in preparation instead of execution is a week of momentum they will never get back. Every month that passes with the goal still sitting in the planning stage instead of the doing stage is a month of compounding progress that someone else is making while they wait. Urgency does not mean reckless. It does not mean thoughtless. It means treating your goals with the respect of knowing that time is your most limited resource, and that every moment you choose not to move forward is a moment you are choosing to stay behind. I want you to operate from this day forward as though the window is closing, not because it necessarily is, although it might be, but because that mindset will create the kind of focused, relentless, no days off execution that transforms intentions into results. Stop treating your dreams like they will wait for you forever. Start treating them like they need you to show up today, because they do, and so does your future. Now let me speak to you about discipline, because this is the engine underneath everything. I know you have days when you do not feel like it. I know you have days when the motivation is gone, the energy is depleted, the results feel invisible, and the voice in your head is telling you that you deserve a break, that one day off will not hurt, that you can pick it back up tomorrow. And sometimes rest is legitimate. Sometimes your body and your mind genuinely need recovery. I am not talking about those moments. I am talking about the moments when the real reason you do not feel like doing it is not exhaustion. The real reason is discomfort, resistance, the natural human pull toward the path of least effort. Those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments where the gap between the person who gets it done and the person who almost got it done is created. Discipline is not the ability to always feel motivated. Discipline is the commitment to execute regardless of motivation. It is the decision you made on a good day, being honored on a hard day. It is the promise you made to your future self, being kept by your present self, even when your present self does not feel like keeping it. The people who get things done have cracked a code that most people are still searching for. And the code is simple. They do not wait to feel ready. They do not wait for the motivation to show up. They do not negotiate with resistance or bargain with discomfort. They have built a system, a routine, a set of non-negotiable daily actions that run on discipline rather than emotion. And what discipline produces over time is something that feels like momentum. It feels like unstoppable forward movement. It feels like everything is finally coming together. But it is not magic. It is the compound interest of showing up every day and doing the thing that needed to be done, whether you felt like it or not. Build your discipline, guard it, feed it, and let it carry you through every day that your motivation cannot. I want to have an honest conversation with you about the cost of not doing it, because I think most of us, if we are truthful, have been calculating this wrong. We look at the thing we need to do and we calculate the cost of doing it, the time it will take, the energy it will require, the risk it involves, the possibility that it might not work out. And sometimes that calculation makes the action feel too expensive, but we almost never sit down and calculate the cost of not doing it. Let me help you with that math right now. The cost of not doing it is the version of your life that never gets built because you chose comfort over commitment. The cost of not doing it is the business that never launches, the book that never gets written, the relationship that never gets repaired, the health that never gets reclaimed. The cost of not doing it is 5 years from now standing in the same place, older, with fewer opportunities, looking back at today and wishing you had made a different choice. The cost of not doing it is regret. And regret is the heaviest thing a human being can carry. It is heavier than failure. It is heavier than embarrassment. It is heavier than the discomfort of doing the hard thing. Because at least when you tried and failed, you have a story, you have a lesson, you have the knowledge that you gave it everything you had. But when you did not try, when you chose the excuse over the action, the comfort over the commitment, the later over the now, what you have is a question, a permanent, unanswerable, haunting question. What would have happened if I had just done it? Do not let that question become your legacy. The discomfort of getting it done will pass. The regret of not getting it done could follow you for the rest of your life. make the right calculation, and then make the right move. And I want to close with this because this is the one that ties everything together. Finishing matters. Starting is important. Deciding is important. Showing up is important, but none of it counts the way it needs to count until you finish. Until you take the thing all the way from the idea in your mind to the completed reality in the world. The unfinished things in your life are not just projects. They are debts that you owe to your potential. Every unfinished goal, every abandoned commitment, every halfway done thing sitting in the corner of your life is costing you something. It is costing you confidence. It is costing you momentum. It is costing you the self-belief that comes from looking at your life and seeing a collection of things you started and finished. I need you to become a finisher. Not someone who starts with explosive energy and fades in the middle. Not someone who is great at planning and struggles at executing. Not someone who gets 80% of the way there and then allows the last 20% to remain undone because the initial excitement has worn off. A finisher. Someone who commits to the end from the beginning. Someone who pushes through the middle when it is hard. Someone who crosses the finish line even when nobody is watching. Even when the applause has stopped. Even when the only reason left to keep going is the promise they made to themselves. Because every time you finish something, you build a piece of an identity. An identity that says, I am the person who gets it done. I am the person who follows through. I am the person who can be trusted to take something from beginning to end. And that identity, the identity of a person who gets it done, is the foundation upon which every great achievement in your life will be built. So whatever it is, whatever the thing is that has been sitting unfinished, unstarted, or halfway done in your life, whatever the goal, the project, the dream, the commitment, I am telling you with everything I have, get it done. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when the conditions improve or the motivation returns or the timing feels right. Get it done now, get it done today, get it done with what you have, where you are, in the circumstances you are currently in. Because the world does not need your intentions. The world needs your execution. Your family does not need your plans. They need your follow through. Your future does not need your potential. It needs your action. Get it done. So here's where I bring everything home. You walked into this video with something on your list, something that has been waiting for you, something that knows your name and has been calling it quietly but persistently every single day that you have chosen not to answer. Today you answer it, not with a plan, not with a vision board, not with another conversation about what you're going to do someday when everything lines up perfectly. You answer it with action, with execution, with the decision that starting right now, imperfect, unprepared, uncomfortable, and uncertain, is infinitely better than waiting for a perfect moment that may never arrive. Remember what we talked about. Intention without execution is just a dream. And dreams that stay in your head do not change your life. Only the ones you bring into the world do that. Remember that your excuses, no matter how reasonable they sound, are building a wall around a smaller version of your life. And you were not created for a small life. Remember that urgency is not panic. It is respect for the irreplaceable resource of time. And every day you treat with urgency is a day that moves you forward. Every day you do not is a day that moves you nowhere. Remember that discipline is what carries you when motivation cannot. And discipline is built one kept promise at a time. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Remember that the cost of not doing it is always greater than the cost of doing it. Always do the math and then make the decision that your future self will thank you for. And remember that finishing is where the real victory lives. Not in the starting, not in the planning, not in the talking about it. In the finishing, in the getting it all the way done. You have everything you need to get it done. You have the ability, you have the potential, you have this moment, this exact unrepeatable now or never moment to make the move that changes everything. So make it, get it done. Before you go, I need to say something and I need you to really receive it. Thank you. Thank you for investing this time in yourself. Thank you for choosing a message that challenges you over content that simply entertains you. Thank you for staying until the end, because that right there, that ability to stay committed to something until it is finished, is the exact quality that is going to take you from where you are to where you want to be. I want you to know that I believe in you, not in a generic feel good, I say this to everybody kind of way. I believe in you because you showed up today, because something in you recognized that you needed this message, and something in you was courageous enough to receive it. That something is the same thing that is going to get the work done. That something is the same thing that is going to push you through the middle when it gets hard. That something is the same thing that is going to carry you across the finish line. When every other part of you wants to stop, trust that something. Feed it, protect it, and for the love of everything you care about, act on it. Do not let this video be another piece of motivation that felt good in the moment and produced nothing in the days that followed. Let it be the spark that starts the fire. Let it be the push that begins the movement. Let it be the moment you look back on and say, that is when I stopped waiting and started doing. Go get it done, whatever it is. Go get it done today. Go get it done with everything you have. Go get it done for your family, for your future, for the version of yourself that has been waiting patiently on the other side of your execution. Good luck. And know this, luck is just what preparation looks like when it finally meets opportunity. So prepare, execute, follow through, finish. God bless you. Stay hungry, stay disciplined, stay focused on the finish line, and go get it done.